Radio Loma Linda, where no listener is ever left behind.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Sunday. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM, the station that leaves no listener behind. I'm your host, Sam Works.
I'm Kyle Kerrigan.
And tonight, before we start talking about everything, and because we haven't been here in a couple weeks, all those holidays, we're gonna catch you guys up on that. But before we get started, Kyle, you know what time it is.
Our sponsor time, snjradio.com. No negative news, no politics, just feel good music.
Man, I feel like we haven't been here here in the studio forever, dude.
I know. Every time we take at least 1 week off, it feels like it's forever.
It feels like
and
forever.
Then 2 weeks, man.
It feels like a lifetime. And then coming back on, you get the jitters,
Yeah.
And before the intro music started playing, I was thinking like, man, what if someone was on a pretty tight schedule, right? Every Sunday night, coming home, listening to the radio station, and then they hear our cue of music start playing, And in my head, I'm thinking what they're thinking. They're like, what are they going to talk about next?
Yeah.
Because there's programs that stick to the program,
Oh, yeah.
There's political programs, there's health programs.
Mm-hmm.
Our program is anything goes, whatever works.
Whatever works.
Right? And it's so funny when Kyle and I'm sure even when I'm not even around Kyle, but when people say, hey, like whatever works,
I think about it too.
It dings our head. It's such a cool program. Very blessed to be here on the show. We have a guest coming in during the halftime, so when we come back from our break at 7:30, she'll be here. She's a family portrait photographer locally in Yucaipa.
Okay.
Yeah. So I actually knew her for many, many years. We go way back, and it's kind of crazy the way life kind of puts you on different paths. Like you never expect what you're gonna be when you grow up.
Right, exactly.
We all have this vision, and some people, they're like my brother, for example. He always wanted to be a machine gunner in the Marine Corps.
Right.
Ever since we're little kids, like 4, 5, 6, playing Army, doing our thing.
Yeah.
As soon as he came out of high school, he went to the Marine Corps, and now he's a machine gunner. Some people's, their stars line up since the moment they come out of the womb. But the majority of people, it's interesting because, our mindsets change, our lifestyles change.
Right, yeah.
And you just don't expect where you're going to end up and where you're going to be.
Yeah, exactly.
And for our guest coming in, she's out there doing it big over in Yucaipa. She takes amazing photos. She actually used me and my lady as holiday photos to get ready. She has a whole studio up in Yucaipa. She does amazing work, and if you guys want to take family portraits or family photos or whatever the case may be, definitely talk to her, get her information. Obviously, she'll have all her information tonight after we come back from the break at 7:30. So, in the meantime, Kyle and I are going to be bugging your guys' ears off. So if you guys want to jump in the conversation, if you guys have any questions or anything, you guys can call in.
That's going to be 888-909-1050. That is 888-909-1050.
All right, so let's play catch up real quick. We've been gone for about 2 weeks. We had Christmas, we had New Year's.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it. How was your Christmas? How was your New Year's? What are some things you want to bring up?
So Christmas and New Year's was crazy because it's the first time, at least in my adult life, that I felt like it was on a weekend for both. You know what I mean? Mm. So I started another job, doing property inspection. So I did that about 2 weeks ago. I started the week before Christmas. So basically, we had the last show, then I started. And so I've been doing that, and so I had weekends off. So I've just been working Monday through Friday, and then party it up on the weekend,
Yeah.
work, party it up on the weekend,
That sounds like everyone's schedule. You
work. And now my body's like, are we doing this again?
know?
It's
It's in like
no.
anticipating.
No, we are not.
Talking about how like life, brings you on different paths and stuff.
Yeah.
Now you're into doing house inspections.
Yeah.
You're a certified home inspector, bro. How did that turn out?
Wild. Okay, so I was telling Timmy, I said, hey, I want to get into appraising. And so, we were kind of talking about it. This was like September. And so like, yeah, no, we'll both do the schooling and then, we'll start a company or whatever. And so Timmy, he got busy. He was doing, he has a couple jobs that he does. And me, I was, kept doing prep cook. And so I saw on Indeed there was a property inspector, position opening. It's an entry level. I'll check it out. So I applied. Next day, they called me right back. Said, we want to do an interview like today. So I did it. And so they're like, hey, we'd love to have you on the team. I'm going to send you like this website, and then you got to do the class. And then once you do the class, you have 2 chances to pass the test. You could fail the test however many times, but if you fail it twice, you have to take the class again. And so I took the class, passed it the first time.
Awesome. Good for you.
Thank you. And jumped right into it, and learning a lot. I spent maybe, actually, like Christmas Eve, I spent 11 hours studying. Different types of houses, different types of roofs, different types of foundation, what to look for, what not to look for. The regulations in this state alone, the legality, the paperwork, how State Farm operates, how this company operates, how these companies operate. 11 hours, dude. And then slept it off. Monday came in. I felt like I was a pro. Like I got up. I said, "New job, flow,
New job, new life.
new life." So I got into it, and they're like, "Okay, we'll give you 5 cases, or okay, so we'll give you 10 cases. Just do them this week. You could do 2 a day. You could do 5 and 5, whatever." I did all 10 one day. And they're like, okay, we'll give you more. So they gave me 20 more cases. And I did 10 and 10. And they're like, we've never had a trainee do that. So like, okay. And, I've only messed up okay, so like when you first get into it, they expect you to mess up a lot. Hey, you didn't get this picture, or you messed up this diagram, or this and that. Out of the 33 cases I did for the week and a half, I only messed up 3 cases.
Oh, that's pretty good.
And 2 of them, I just had to submit photos that I had already that I thought I did. So they're like, I have a very small margin of error. Here's some more complicated cases. Go out there. And so I did them. And now I was talking to my manager last week. They're like, hey, here's like 80 cases. Figure out the due dates, figure out this and that, and we'll talk. Also, since you're doing a really good job, normally we wait 2 months before we can kind of like gauge if you're going to be a good fit of our team. It's been 2 weeks. We already feel like you're there. So here's the class to take for commercial buildings. So now I'm already going to start doing commercial buildings.
Oh, wow.
So I actually took the class, and it's the same thing. You have 2 chances to pass the test and do the class. So I did the class on Saturday, yesterday. Passed it first time.
There you go.
Actually, no, that's a lie. Second time.
Mm,
So I missed one question the first time, and then took the test again, and then passed it again.
very nice.
And so, yeah, I'm gonna do commercial properties Monday to Friday. So
Nonchalantly, it is what it is, man. That's what I do now.
that's just life.
No, that's pretty awesome. When you were talking about understanding how State Farm works and all this stuff, because as you guys may know, I'm a real estate agent, right? And you're talking about learning the different types of roofs, the different types of foundation. Like that is something that can sharpen my skill when it comes to being a real estate agent. So I'm like, oh, dude, that's pretty cool. But again, I can't. There's that saying, you can have anything, but you can't have everything. You
Right,
know?
yeah.
So I'm definitely gonna need you. Because I don't think I'm going to go out there and get my inspection license just so I can obtain knowledge. I mean, which is funny because that's what I did for real estate, and I got really into it. But, yeah, no, that's pretty cool. Yeah, we were sitting down. We went to, was it Sugar Bloom today?
Yeah, Sugar Bloom. Yeah.
Sugar Bloom in Redlands, which is a really nice place to have amazing
Yeah.
pastries. They are like Pinterest. Like this building's like dolled up to the T.
Yeah.
It's a really nice place to go. And we're just catching up, friends and family, and then everyone was like, wait, Kyle, you're what? You're doing what?
Yeah.
And the stories he tells, man, it's hilarious. That's pretty funny. So, I mean, a lot of people, they spend their time during the holidays, prepping for the holidays, and you're prepping for a new career, dude.
Yeah, no, I'm just jumping right into it.
Yeah, and it's actually kind of crazy, you guys. Every time when I walk into the studio, Kyle's online on his computer looking at different job applications, doing his thing. Like, even though he already has a job, he's like, this is something better for me.
There's always something better.
There's always something more. I hope you stick to this one. Cause
I will.
it sounds like you're progressing faster than, the normal trainee.
Well, they said that, I'm probably going to get a few raises this year, but they said that they're going to help me get my appraiser license.
Oh, wow.
And then I don't have to find a trainer.
Right.
Because, like, for many of you that don't know, when you become an appraiser, you start as an appraiser trainee, and you need 1,000 hours under a journeyman. And then they sign you off. You take some more classes, and then you become an actual appraiser.
Yeah.
So
And 1,000 hours is a lot.
it's a lot.
If you're working 40 hours a week, and
That's a lot, yeah.
yeah, in a month that's like what 160 hours
Mhm.
times that by 10. I mean, there's your 1,000, but that's nonstop work,
It's nonstop work.
And you're just you're an apprentice. You're not an
No.
actual appraiser. So
No.
they are hard. They are hard to find. Appraisers. Yeah. And the thing is, with technology and stuff nowadays, like they're starting to do appraisings with doing it online,
Yeah.
which I totally disagree on because I think you need to be there at the house, see the problems. I mean, the cameras, they don't justify, what's real and what's not.
Right.
You go see a house. Like a lot of people when they look at houses online and stuff, and then they go see that house in person.
It's different.
I get it all the time. Oh, it feels like I've been catfished.
Yeah.
Like these walls are slanted, or like the seals are, like there's no sealment. There's, whatever this and that, and it's
Yeah.
true. You got lighting, you got angles. Like it all plays a part in perception.
Yeah.
And so I really believe that we need real people out there in real time looking at, the real object, the real housing and stuff,
Yeah. And like there's stuff you could do online, like like do some research about the area,
Yeah.
income, school, stuff like that. But like everything I do is online based, but it also requires me to go there and take the pictures.
Mhm.
Like I have to be there to take the pictures.
Mhm.
And sure, what you're seeing are the pictures, but you're seeing all the pictures in real time.
Right.
These pictures were taken on this date. Everything's time stamped. Everything's location stamped. So
Yeah, like-
Imagine
We kind of had talking about a scenario today. Imagine if there was like this house, it's in good condition on paperwork, but then like a week prior, roots broke the foundation up. Now there's cracks along the wall, but the system doesn't know that. you know, so then
Yeah.
that gets approved and you guys move forward, and then it can be a whole lawsuit waiting to happen. But no, that's pretty awesome. I'm glad you got
Yeah.
a little new something after the New Year's, you know. I'm actually kind of in shock because I don't hear anyone talking about New Year's resolutions. Bro, I've been to the gym a couple times this year. It's actually been more empty than usual.
Yeah,
know?
people are just,
I don't know, they kind of just gave up on the New Year's. And
yeah.
you know, speaking of New Year's, the dedication that some people get. We talked about this today, but one of our friends, Dr. Marissa,
Mm-hmm.
she went to Australia for the New Year's.
Okay.
And she was standing on this concrete pad by the famous bridge. I forgot what the bridge is called over out there in Australia for 10 and a half hours just to see the fireworks.
Wow.
You're waiting that long. And not only that, Joe, imagine hundreds of people. I think it was over in like some Asian country, maybe like Hong Kong or something. Everyone had their phones out, counting down. And when they had their own little ball drop, like it was just cameras. No one was celebrating. No one was kissing each other. No one was like ecstatic. It was all just counting down with the phones out.
Exactly.
Yeah, and they will never watch it back. That's some true words right there, you know? And it just sucks. Yeah, and like if there was, you know, if they had like a rave or like some type of thing, if I was running the place, I'd be like, hey, no phones, you know, just enjoy the moment. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like some comedy shows, they do that, but for other reasons, like for protection and stuff. But you're actually there in real time, just enjoying yourself.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, you're not worried about like, oh, this is gonna be good. Like my friends or family, like they're gonna want to see this, or trying to get views on Instagram. Like you're going there for the wrong reason.
Yeah.
You know, you want to capture it in your mind and in your heart, not on a phone.
One thing that I like is like, have you ever been to a silent rave?
Dude, I wanted to go so bad. I got tickets for it one time, but I was not 21, and you got to be 21 to do it. I gave my tickets to.
So like,
Timmy.
it's immersive, right?
Yeah.
And like, you can't look on your phone because like you're hearing something else.
Uh,
So like, you can't scroll through TikTok, whatever you do. You have to actually be in the moment.
hmm
And everyone's wearing headphones.
I think it's really cool because they have
It's
videos.
honestly, it's really cool.
They
It's
have
really
videos
cool.
because everyone has headphones on, right? But the person, if you take your headphones out, it's complete silence, but you just see everyone just
Yeah.
they're just dancing,
Yeah.
you know, they're having a good
It's
time. You're like, oh, this is
amazing.
so cool. So I actually bought tickets. I bought a 4-pack of tickets one time, and I was like 18, but you had to be 21.
Oh.
And I think Timmy, Michael, Marco, and like some other person went.
Mm.
I was gonna say you, but you didn't tell me that it was you, so now I'm like, oh, okay, probably wasn't you.
No.
But yeah, and I'm like, so I always wanted to go there. So
Yeah, no, it was such an amazing experience.
yeah,
It was really cool. And like the DJ was there too.
right.
So it wasn't in a really blank room.
mm-hmm.
It was an actual rave, but it's just you hear the music through the headphones.
Was it like lighting and stuff?
There was lighting and stuff. Everything was synced together. It was like being at an actual rave, but you had headphones on.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And imagine that, like if you wanted to talk to somebody, you just take the headphones out, and you don't have to like scream or, you know.
Yeah.
I've been to in LA. They have a rooftop movie theater, and you have headphones on.
Yeah.
You know, and I thought that was pretty cool. I mean, it's a little less interactive with like the people sitting next to you, but
Yeah.
I mean, you are like on a patio on this building in LA. You know, you got the big old screen in front of you. You got these lounge chairs. You have a bar. It's really cool, but the chairs are like lounge chairs. You can't really cuddle with the person you bring or whatever. You know.
Yeah.
But I mean, you can't just take off the headphones and like have
What's
a
cool about
conversation.
the silent rave I went to was they give you these remotes, and each headset you get, they tell you your number. So you'd be like number 18. I could be number 45. I could walk up to you. I type in 18 call, and I could talk to you through the headphones.
Oh, really?
Yeah, and you can sync other people to it. So like you.
Merge call, just everybody up.
No, yeah. So people were merge calling, just talking. I was talking to people, and then if you want to stop, you just hang up. It was like the
That's really cool.
Yeah, it was like, so, you know, you could choose to vibe by yourself or you could choose to vibe with others still, like, silently. Like,
Right. I think with Timmy and all them, they had it was almost like voting. Like
Yeah.
your headphones, like you get to choose like, okay, this type of music or you like this one better. You know. So like some people will be listening to, or maybe it's like synchronized at the same time, but it was like maybe like a half hour of disco and then a half hour of like rave music, you know, things like that.
Yeah.
And then you got to choose which vibe you like more, you know.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it's definitely on my bucket list.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely have to go.
Yeah, and I was telling Kyle today, not many people know, but if my mom's listening right now, which she usually does, I'm going to be going to Santa Barbara in February,
Yeah.
specifically on Valentine's Day. And this will be like my first vacation that I chose to go to. You know, I went to Disney World over in Florida before, but that was like my ex. This was during COVID, and she was like, "We have to go during COVID. This is our only opportunity that we can go there for like super cheap." Da 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 da. And I was like, "Okay, you know, I will go." You know.
Yeah.
But this one, it was a kind of me and my girl were talking, and she was like, "You need to go on a vacation, yada yada yada." I was like, "I want to go to Santa Barbara." You know, and she was like, "Okay, let's go." And then she was like talking about a date, like 6 months from now, whatever. I was like, "What if we just went for like Valentine's?" And she's like, "Oh my gosh, I love the idea," you know. But I've been to Santa Barbara one time, and I was a
Yeah.
little kid, but I really enjoyed it. I love the architect out there,
Yeah.
the weather out there, the people, the vibe, the energy,
Mhm.
the atmosphere. And I was a little kid, and I was like, man, I'm gonna live out here one day. So going on this vacation, I'm actually super excited to like people watch and just like really tell myself, hey, is this the place where I want to move?
Yeah.
You know, because you know everyone wants to move somewhere. You know, everyone wants to get out from where they're at and stuff. So I'm gonna be really excited to go.
Yeah, no, it's, you know, just planning something by yourself and like even going with Ashley or even by yourself is such like a great feeling.
Mm-hmm.
Last summer I went to the beach 4 times by myself, just because I said I could go.
Really?
Yeah, it was spur of the moment. So I want to go to the beach. I was like, Dad, you know, Dad's having a bad day or whatever. So all right, I'm just gonna go. Go to the beach, spend some time out there, soak up from the sun, come back.
Really?
I did it 4 times, and I didn't do it any times this year.
Huh.
But yeah, no, it's such a good feeling, and what's even a better feeling is going out of country.
Mm.
Just going out of the country, just saying you go there, spur of the moment, don't have any plans, just make the locals come up with your itinerary is something I want to do.
Really?
'Cause like, I don't know if I ever told you this, but I went to Indonesia for a weekend.
Dude, you almost made me cuss on the on the radio. Indonesia, bro.
Yeah.
For the weekend.
Yeah, as a prank, or no, it wasn't a prank.
As a
it
prank.
No. Dare. It was a dare.
I ran away.
No, no, we were playing Truth or Dare. And
That's the most intense truth or dare ever, bro.
so, I was friends with this guy named Derek at the time, and he was, you know, upper middle class. He never needed anything in his life. You know, he was just. And so, him and I got in an argument. Like, we were just heated. Like, we were ready to get into a fight. And then he said, "You're not going to do any of the dares that I'm going to dare you to do. So, I'm not going to dare you to do anything." I said, "Watch me."
Yeah, Kyle's pretty down. If you guys ever met Kyle.
He said, "All right, I'm going to send you to Indonesia 2 weekends from now." I said, "All right." And he did.
He sent you out there.
Just me. Said, "I want you to go to Indonesia for 2 days and come back." He said, he said, "I want you to leave after your last class on Friday and come back on Sunday." I said, "All right." And obviously I said some other words like, you know, back and forth in our argument.
Watch me.
Basically, I was like, "Watch me." And I did it. I went to Indonesia for 2 days, came back.
Wow.
And when I came back, he was blue in the face.
Really?
He did not. He was like, "Man, dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to like."
I'm so sorry to put you in that position. Hey, man, put me in that position again.
I was
Where we
like-
going now?
I was like, "Where are we going now?"
Hey, dare me to go to Tokyo, dude.
I said, "Dare me to go to Bora Bora." You know what I mean?
Dare me for you to book me a 5-star hotel,
Yeah.
first class.
You're not down.
No butter.
No, but like, so yeah, I told my mom and my dad. I told my dad later, and my mom later. So like, they never knew. Like, I just didn't come home that weekend. I just told them I was gonna stay in my dorm, and I was in Indonesia.
Oh my gosh. I wish I can be that friend. Like, if I knew someone was like super stressed out and they need to just go on a quick vacation or whatever, I wish I can be like, "Hey, dude, here's a plane ticket. You're going to Australia."
I'm at I mean, I could probably summarize my trip.
Summarize it.
So I went down there, and obviously he gave me money. He's like, you're not gonna live on the streets, obviously.
Imagine he's like, "Yeah, you're on your own, bro. Got you a plane ticket. One
No.
way."
So I had about $1,500.
Pretty good.
Yeah, just for the weekend. And then, and so I went down there. I left my. So the first thing I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, what do I need? To sleep somewhere. So I found this hotel. It was like $20 in their money, which was like, I don't know, $6. So I was like, okay, I'll do 2 nights, whatever. I was like, I'm gonna go get some food. So I'm talking to some locals and say, hey, I'm not from the area. Like, we could tell.
Yeah, no kidding, dude.
And they're like, just show me around, or just, do you have any recommendations for food? Like, I want to like live the experience. So there's a bar a couple blocks down. Make a right, and then you could walk into the bar, and then they have some good food. Like, it's actual cuisine, but it's a bar too. So you could chill, watch TV, whatever. So go down there, and I actually meet someone there. This guy named Jan, who I talk to this day. And so I'm talking to him. I'm telling him this whole story. He's like, "What? This is crazy. This is a pretty dangerous country. Like, why don't you come and, meet my family, go and have dinner with us." And so I do that. It's like, I'm just going to check it out. And then, they say, if you don't like the vibe, we'll just drop you back off at your hotel. Cool, whatever. Well, I hit it off with this family, like, so well. I ended up staying with them for, like, the next day.
Nice.
So they had, like, 3 or 4 kids. I was playing soccer with them. It was a cool experience. I got to talk to the, Jan and his wife. And so, we talking to this day. I had a really cool experience. Derek, on the other side of the country or world, is freaking out. He's like,
I sent my friend across the world.
I sent my friend across the world. He's probably dead. And he's freaking out, blue in the face, And I sent him a picture with the family, like, just taking a selfie. And he said, "What the heck? What are you doing?" And I was like, I'm just chilling, vibing. We'll see where this takes me. I'll see you on Sunday.
I'll see you when I see you.
I'll see you when I see you. And it was cool. So I ended up checking out of the hotel, and I stayed with them for the next day.
No kidding.
They were showing me around. They were showing me some cool places,
Okay, that's awesome, dude. I'm glad that
But,
happened.
yeah.
And I'm sure it just makes your life a whole lot,
But yeah, no,
better.
like, so moral of that story is, like, I encourage people to do that. Like, don't get dared by someone to do it. Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. I like it. All right, you guys, we're going to take a quick 5-minute break, but when we come back, we're going to have our guest. She is here. She's been waiting for us, so stay tuned. Don't go anywhere, and we'll be right back in about 5 minutes. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed.
From the Bureau of Economic Geology, this is Earth Date. There's one Earth system that constantly affects our lives, yet we hardly think about it. That is, until we turn 50 and we're confronted with the evidence. I'm talking, of course, about gravity. Working against it keeps our muscles toned, and the rest of us, not so toned. But it keeps us standing upright, keeps water in our glasses and in the oceans. In fact, the Earth as we know it couldn't exist without gravity. All objects exert a gravitational pull on other objects. The strength of this pull is determined by the object's size and density. The Sun has more gravitational pull than the Earth, which holds the Earth in orbit around it. The Moon has less than the Earth, and thus orbits around us, but still has enough gravity to pull on Earth's water, causing tides. If the Earth had a smooth surface and were the same density in all places, gravity would be the same everywhere, but it's neither of these things. If you're standing next to a mountain and holding a lead weight on a string, that weight would not hang perfectly straight, but would be drawn slightly toward the mountain. Not enough for you to notice, but measurable with a sensitive instrument. Mountain ranges in general have stronger gravitational pull than, say, oceans, since rock is denser than water. It's the different densities of different places on Earth that cause Earth's gravity to vary. We'll explore the surprising things that changing gravity reveals on a future Earth Date. I'm Scott Tinker, and thank you for listening.
Earth Date is produced by the Bureau of Economic Geology at the University of Texas at Austin. Earth Date is researched by Julie Hennings, written by Harry Lynch, and distributed by Mark Blunt and Casey Walker. For more stories, follow us on Facebook or visit earthdate.org.
Tahibo Tea Club's original Pure Pau de Arco Super Tea comes from the only tree in the world that fungus does not grow on. As a result, it naturally has antifungal, anti-infection, antiviral, antibacterial, anti-inflammation, and anti-parasite properties. So the tea is great for healthy people because it helps build the immune system, and it can be truly miraculous for someone fighting a potentially life-threatening disease due to an infection, diabetes, or cancer. The tea is also organic and naturally caffeine-free. A 1-pound package of tea is $49.95, which includes shipping. To order, please visit TahiboTeaClub.com. Tahibo is spelled T like Tom, A-H-E-E-B like boy, O, then continue with the word tea and then the word club. The complete website is TahiboTeaClub.com, or call us at 818-610-8088, Monday through Saturday, 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. California time. That's 818-610-8088, TahiboTeaClub.com.
You've eaten lots of great food and not so great food at restaurants. Cowboy Burgers in Fontana and now on Arlington and Riverside will fast become one of your favorites with their delicious, mouth-watering burgers and breakfast burritos. Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue also serves fantastic smoked barbecue baby back ribs, tri-tip, chicken, pulled pork sandwiches, as well as lunch and dinner plates. Everything is made from scratch, including their delicious side dishes like coleslaw, potato salad, barbecue beans, and much, much more. Check out their rich, decadent chocolate brownies.
Hi, I'm food critic Alan Borgen, and you can dine in, take food out, or have them cater your next special event. I highly recommend Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue at their new location at 5573 Arlington Avenue in Riverside. Just look them up on the internet. That's Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue. Happy eating!
And perfect for the holidays, Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue is also available for catering. That's Cowboy Burgers and Barbecue in Fontana and now in Riverside on Arlington.
Every Wednesday at 3 p.m., it's the Uncommon Sense Democrat with host Eric Bauman.
I love when his people talk about how old Joe Biden is, but he's just a couple years behind him.
You'll get the best political commentary and stuff like this.
Good night, Donald Trump. Well, it's time to go.
Join us for the Uncommon Sense Democrat every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the stations that leave no listener behind, KCAA 1050 AM and 106.5 FM.
Hey, feeling good, like I should. When in dark, I walk around the neighborhood. Feeling blessed, never got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Yeah.
Welcome back, everybody. Happy Sunday. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM. I'm your host, Sam Works.
I'm Kyle Kerrigan.
And tonight we have
Caitlin Keller.
Caitlin Keller. You know, this whole time I never knew because obviously you just got married. Well, how long have you been married?
I've been married for almost 6 years.
Okay,
We'll be celebrating our
not just-
6-year wedding anniversary this month.
That's
congrats.
Yeah,
Thank you.
congratulations. Hey, Joe. Anyways, her and I, we knew each other for a long time, and it was funny. I think it was like last week. She's like, "So when am I gonna be on your show?" And I was like, "Well, come on this week." So here she is. I know we talked a little bit about what she does, but I want to give her the opportunity to talk about what she does. So, what do you do?
So I am a photographer. I specialize in newborn and maternity, but I can never give up my family, so I do family also. And yeah, I have my own studio, and I just love snuggling with little babies because I don't want any more of my own. So I get to snuggle on people's babies and take some beautiful pictures of them, and it's a lot of fun.
Where's your studio at?
My studio is in Yucaipa off of the Boulevard.
Okay.
So, yeah.
It's where next to Tams, right?
Yeah, it's in the same parking lot drive-through as Tams. I just got my sign up on the thing now, so you can actually
nice,
find me with my new sign.
Okay, there you go.
But yeah, it's right next to Tams and the Boulevard.
That's really exciting. How long have you been doing it?
So photography, I started in high school, but not like professionally. And then when my son was 1.5 years, so like a little over 3 years ago, I tried working full time. I hated it. And photography kind of just fell in my lap. I started taking pictures for friends, and then people were like, "Oh, I like those. Can I pay you?" And so I just felt like it was really like my way out of needing to work full time because I could be at home with my son most of the time and still make income. And so then I started doing it professionally. 2 years ago is when I decided I wanted to specialize in newborn photography when I found out we were having my daughter. Because weddings are just a lot of work, and especially when you have 2 kids. So then I decided that newborn photography was going to be my thing. I got into my studio, my current studio, back in April, but I've had a studio for about 1 year now, and that's when I kind of really focused on doing studio work.
That's awesome. And do you have like an Instagram page or where people can like come like at least see your photos or reach out to you?
Yeah, my Instagram is Caitlin Dawn Photography, and my website is the same. My website's the easiest way because you'll get an instant reply once you fill out that form on my website.
Very nice.
So,
And what's your website?
CaitlinDawnPhotography.com.
Okay.
Really simple.
Okay.
Really straightforward.
I like that.
Really easy to find.
Yeah, I was telling people before we went on break that you had me and your sister take photos. What was it, a couple months before the holidays, like before Christmas time?
Yeah, I think it was like in October. Yeah. I like to get my like promos out right away, and so I like to take those kinds of photos a little far in advance. So I'm always looking for new and fun things to do to just change things up. I get bored. I love the creative side of photography, and so if I just do the same thing over and over again, I get really bored. So doing stuff like creative type sessions are really fun for me.
Can you give an example of like a creative type session? I know in your studio you have like little backdrops and little like props and stuff, but what's some of your most creative or favorite ones?
Yeah, so I just started doing like studio maternity work, and those are actually a lot of fun because I can get really creative with some like really pretty dresses. We add in props, like I have these little butterflies that we've added in and make it look like there's butterflies flying around the room, which is a lot of fun. So those are some of my like more creative ones. I like to put like crowns on the women who are doing their photos and kind of just have a lot of fun with like special effects and that kind of thing. And those are always way more fun and newborns are fun. I mean, newborns are fun too, but doing like the maternity, I have a little bit more freedom to do some creative things. So I always have fun with those ones.
Yeah, when you asked for us to go take the photos, it was back in October. And I didn't have any like festive colors or like anything like that. And actually, me and her sister, we're wearing black. And for like the holiday season, for like Christmas, I was like, "Is that appropriate?" Like, she's like, "Yeah, we'll make it work." And it actually, she pulled it off. She figured out a way. She used her creativity, and the photos look awesome. Do you have our photos on your Instagram?
I don't. I actually stopped, because I wanted to focus more on like newborn and maternity, I kind of stopped posting other things. Even though I do those other things, I just really wanted to like focus on that one specific thing. So,
Gotcha, yeah.
If
Makes sense.
like people that book family sessions with me, even I tell them like, I love your photos, but you probably won't see me post them, just because I want to show more of like the things that I am passionate about, and I'm really passionate about newborn and maternity photography.
Well, and the thing is, like with family photos, like those photos are for them.
Yeah.
You know,
Right,
so it's
yeah.
like, hey, sometimes some families don't want their kids like out
No,
there.
honestly,
or,
that's
like
that's
you know,
fair.
publicized.
Yeah, and I ask before any client, I ask and make sure that they're okay, because I know that I'm pretty specific about like what I share of my kids on social media. So I make sure that any families that I do, that they are, they can either decide to not let me share them at all, or just put them on my website, which is a little bit, you have to seek my website if you're looking at it. And so I give parents and families like free reign over where they want their photos and how they want them to be used.
Right.
What do you think is probably the most challenging part of being, well, first of all, not just only a photographer, but specializing in one specific?
So I think the hardest thing is that photography is an art, and art is subjective. And so everybody is going to want different things. And I may see a photo and look at it and be like, oh my gosh, this is one of my favorites. I think it's beautiful. And then somebody else might see it and be like, I'm not really feeling that one.
I actually hate that one.
Yeah,
You're like, what? Why?
Which is hard. It really does make it hard, because, I think even though I know that I'm good at what I do, I think I always have that kind of fear in the back of my mind. And I will seriously sit there, like after I deliver a gallery, I'll sit there and I'll refresh the page a million times to see like if they've looked at them yet, and like wait and see like when a family or when somebody changes their profile picture right away to the picture that I've taken, it's like a breath of relief, because I'm like, oh, they like their photos. Like,
Right.
So I think that's probably the hardest thing, is just like that self-doubt, because it is subjective, and it's I think I'll always have that a little bit of self-doubt, even though I know that I love my photos, I know they're beautiful, and I've done everything that I can to make them as good as they are, but I think I'll always have that self-doubt, which makes it really hard.
Yeah.
Which I think is any kind of artist is going to have a little bit of self-doubt.
Right. And I think that's also important too, because you want to put quality into your work too. And if you're not overthinking it, or if you're not thinking about it too much, maybe you don't care about it.
Yeah, and
so
I hold myself up to really high standards, which is a blessing and a curse.
Right, exactly.
Because I will sit there and I will pick through and make sure everything looks perfect, and then I sometimes will stare at it for too long and be like, have to ask somebody else, like, how does this actually look? Because my eyes just can't even focus anymore because I've been looking at it for too long. So I think that it definitely does make it a little hard.
Would you say that's kind of like writer's block, where it's like you're just like stuck on this photo not knowing if it's, the one, or if you like it or if you don't?
Yeah, definitely. And I think I've had some galleries that I've been working on the editing side, and I'll have to take a break from and come back. I have a really bad habit of editing photos at 2:00 in the morning after my kids have gone to bed.
That's probably your creative juices.
And
flowing,
yeah, and then but sometimes I look at the gallery the next morning and I'm like, well, what was I thinking?
Yes.
Because it's just my eyes are going cross-eyed at that point. And so, but yeah, sometimes I have to take a break and give it 24 hours and then look at it again. And then I'm like, oh, these aren't bad. Why was I feeling that way? And so, but it's kind of like writer's block, yeah.
And so you've been doing this for 3 years professionally, right?
Yeah, about 3 years professionally.
What kind of progress do you see? What's the growth that you see in yourself? Is it the photos? Is it the creativity? Is it the, because obviously you edit the photos, right, and try to make it as best as possible. What is the part where you had the most growth in?
I think when it comes to newborn photography, it's definitely the posing. Taking photos of newborns is not easy, because you can't tell them what to do. You can't tell them where to go.
Right.
You have to pose them and put them in the poses. And I, in the beginning, I thought that I could just kind of learn it all on my own. And I kind of had to come to the realization that it was so important for me to invest in education, especially with newborns, because there's a lot of safety behind it. Right. So I think I've seen the most growth in my newborn photography. I look back at the pictures even 2 years ago and I'm like, I can't believe I ever took these. Like, I can't believe I ever posted these. And what made me actually want to get into photography is I did a session and it sucked and I hated it. And I felt so unconfident while I was doing it that I was like, I need to be better at this. I want to be better at this. And that's kind of what made me dive into newborn photography. And let me tell you, I spend way too much money buying all those cute little props and stuff. But that's really like where I've seen the most growth is in my posing. And I mean, my editing style has pretty much stayed the same throughout the time, but really the posing and like making sure it's like a science posing newborns. So
I bet, yeah.
So that's where I've seen the most growth.
Yeah, because for sure, I thought that in the beginning, you know, because your kids, they're pretty disciplined. They listen to you, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say, hey, like sit down, or hey, look at the camera, I'm sure like in my head, I'm like, oh, at the time, I was like, oh, it's easy because you're doing your own kids. But then dealing with kids is probably the most challenging ones to work with, especially when it comes to photos.
Yeah, especially my kids. They don't sit for more than 5 minutes anymore. But yeah, I tell parents all the time that it's okay, that, you know, kids are going to be kids, and that even if they're not smiling in all the photos, you're going to remember these moments more than you're going to remember like them smiling. And if you stress about it too much, then when you look at those photos, all you're going to think about is how much you're stressing about your kids not listening.
Do you think that you can capture more natural emotions in the photos with like kids or babies compared to like, you know, adults who are like not putting on a fake smile but like forcefully smiling because they're on camera, you know?
Yeah, I'd prefer kids over teenagers. And that's just because kids, I can tell them to play games, and I can, like, you know, I can make the kids, I can not make them, but I can tell them to play tag, and you'll get those real genuine emotions coming through that, you know? Yeah, or like tickle parties, like having the mom and dad tickle their kids, like those are my favorite because then the whole family's laughing. And so I think that you really can capture more emotions of kids. I wouldn't say necessarily babies because newborns in that kind of age, they're usually sleeping through their photos. But like doing little kids, toddlers, you know, they are, you can capture a lot of emotions through them.
Mm-hmm. You know, when I think I was like 16 at the time, I went to go get some professional photos done because I was trying to get into like the acting gig and stuff, like modeling. And this guy, he knew, he's like, you never done this before, have you? And I was like, no. He's like, just relax. And he was like trying to make me like smile and like, you know, laugh and stuff. And I just remember it was hard.
Yeah.
I was like, you know, because I'm stiff. He's like, you got to loosen up. I'm like, dude, I'm loose, dog. Like, you know.
Yeah, what I try to do, and it helps and it doesn't because then I waste too much time, but I really just talk to all my clients like they're my friends, you know? Yeah. We start chit-chatting, especially if like they have similar, like if they have kids or if they're married or if they have like similar things, you know, if we're close to the same age and we find something to talk about, then I've noticed that like it helps them to loosen up. I waste way too much time doing that because I'll go way over session time because I'm just chit-chatting the whole time. But it definitely helps to like, you know, loosen those nerves. And I think music too, like playing music during a session, it definitely helps, especially when like I like to ask like, oh, what's your favorite type of music? And it really helps to like not be so tense.
Right, because imagine being in a quiet room. You're just like, you know, and music does loosen up the body and brings the energy out a little bit, so you're more relaxed, you're having a good time. Yeah. I mean, that's what parties are all about. If there's no music, then people are just like, bro, where's the music?
Yeah.
Yeah, especially doing in-studio work, you know, it can get real quiet in there sometimes. And so sometimes, like, I have to, like, even if I'm there by myself, I need to put music on because sometimes that's a little too quiet in studio work,
That's very interesting. And so what is the process when, let's say, someone wants to get photos? Because I know when you hit me up, that's not how you do the process. I was not ready for photos. I was like, oh man, my hair is crazy, you know, like let me brush my teeth, you know, like. So what is the process?
Yeah, so the first step is filling out the form on my website. I just have a really simple contact form, ask for a phone number, email address, really simple stuff like that. And then once that happens, you automatically get an email just to kind of ask more about your vision. I want to know exactly what you're looking for. I want to make sure that we're a good fit for each other before we even talk about pricing or anything after that. I just want to make sure we're a good fit for each other. And then we dive into the pricing, we talk about scheduling, and find out a date that works for both of us. Right now I'm only taking sessions on Saturdays, so I can send Sundays with my family, and so my schedule is a little bit more packed, so we just got to find a date that's works best for both of us. And then from there we do our session, you get your gallery and choose your photos, and that's really it. It's a pretty simple process. had clients tell me that they really like how straightforward it was and that they didn't have to do a whole lot of, like, I make sure that you're prepared. Like, I will send you style guides and what to expect and questionnaires, and I really do my best to make sure that client experience is, like, top notch, because I want you to feel prepared. Like, the worst thing ever is the day before your session, you're like, do I even have a session today? So I send out as many reminders as I can. I send out, any question that you have, I want to answer before you have it. So I really try my best to make sure that you feel prepared.
Has there ever been answers that you just couldn't answer?
There's been a couple times where I've been like, what does this even mean, but I have a lot of, like, I have a pretty good community of other photographers that that I'll, like, reach out to and be like, hey, have you ever had anybody ask this before? Sometimes it just requires extra clarification or jumping on the phone and talking with them on the phone, Email and text message isn't always the best way to talk about something.
Right.
So, but there's never been, like, one specific incident that I can think about that, like, I didn't know how to answer a question.
Mm-hmm. Do you have anything? Because I have another question.
No, go ahead.
Okay, so a lot of times in business, there's, like, the season where, like, during the holidays it gets really busy. Is that like that for you? Like, is your scheduling always jam-packed throughout the year, or is it like during certain times of the year where you get more business?
So, during fall and, like, Christmas time, it's definitely more busy than any other time. And usually January is one of my slower months, and all the way through, like, March is a little bit slower. Everybody's recovering from Christmas. But I'm actually unexpectedly way busier this month and next month than I usually am, which is a great problem to have.
Yeah.
But there definitely is usually a slow season, and I usually take that slow season to, like, work on my website and work on the back end things, and I haven't had as much time to do that now that I was expecting to have, which is a great problem to have. But usually, and I think most photographers also have a slow season from, like, January till March or January till May, when things pick back up. But I think doing studio work too, we don't have to worry about the weather. You don't have to worry that it's going to be cold because my studio's heated and that kind of thing. So I think that's what's kind of keeping me busier this time around.
And so going into the new year, new you, what are some improvements that you want to make either in the business or within yourself?
I think just being more, like, I really want to create that client experience to be nothing that you can get from anybody else. Like, I want my client experience to be the best of the best. I want you to come to me and you be like, oh, this is way different from last time I got my photos done because your client experience is so much better. So I've been really working on that back end things, trying to really improve that client experience and do better with that.
And so we only have about a minute left here, so I just want to make sure you get your information out there. What's your Instagram? What's your website? And your, how to get in touch with you?
Yeah, my Instagram is Caitlin Dawn Photography, and then my website is CaitlinDawnPhotography.com. So either you can message me or fill out the form on my website to get some information immediately, and it's pretty straightforward and pretty simple to figure out.
Okay, so Caitlin Dawn, is that D-O-N or D-A-W-N?
It's Caitlin, Kaitlyn, D-A-W-N, Photography.
Okay, and I know you're in Yucaipa, but can you go all the way around, or what's your region?
Yeah,
here?
pretty much the whole Inland Empire. Studio work, people come to me, but I've had people come all the way up from, like, Menifee.
Oh, wow.
So pretty widespread, yeah.
Awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah,
All right.
that's really
Good job, Caitlin. I think we got to close it up here. Thank you guys for listening. And if you guys want to get some professional photography done, please hit up Caitlin at CaitlinDawn.com or at Caitlin Dawn Photography. Yes, on Instagram. All right, you guys, we are closing up. Happy Sunday. Stay blessed. Stay tuned for Farron's show coming up at 8 o'clock. Thank you guys so much for coming on here. You're listening to Whatever Works on KCAA 1050 AM and Express 106.5 FM.
Feeling blessed, never stressed. Got that sunshine on my Sunday best. Yeah, hey, every day can be a better day despite the challenge. All you gotta do is leave it better than you found it.
Missed something today, yesterday, last week?